Congestion pricing arrived in New York City on Sunday, which meant that today has been its first rush hour morning with a daily fee of up to $9 for cars driving into at least part of Manhattan. The scheme is intended to raise billions for the city's public transport network to ease traffic flow and to improve air quality. New York is the first place in the US to have the system, but it has been used for several other cities around the world. John McDonough he's been driving a cab in the city for more than 40 years.
To me, it's a complete disaster. And the way the politicians are lying to us, claiming this name is called congestion pricing, which was probably thought up by some focus group. It will have nothing to do with congestion in Manhattan. What's wrong with going on in Manhattan with the traffic is the street design. Because now we have bus lanes on one side, we have bike lanes on the other side, we got concrete barriers up. So we're confined into one lane wherever we're going. So there's constant traffic. So they create the problem, and then they say, well, the solution to that problem is now we're going to charge you $9 to come in. And it'll have no effect on congestion. It's just a tax on the working class in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. That's all it is.
I mean, you say it will have no effect on congestion. I guess, we have seen it in operation in other cities around the world. London, for example. Traffic flow is a bit easier in London as a result of it.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen in Manhattan because people in this part of Manhattan, they don't fix anything, say like air conditioners and boilers and everything. And it's been reported today, they've gotten notices, all the buildings below 60th Street, that if you need something fixed, that the company that's coming in to do it is going to add on $50. So everybody's being affected, whether you drive a car or not, and you live below 60th Street, you're going to be affected and you're going to pay for this. I mean, we have a governor here who flies around on a private jet. She's already spent over $500,000 flying all around, and she's telling us that we have to pay $9 to go into Manhattan.
But, I mean, that will be a cost that presumably you will pass on to your passengers. And in terms of how much extra the passenger will have to pay per journey, I mean, it's not going to be very much, is it?
Yeah, but this is added on to all the other taxes. There's a wheelchair tax. There are so many taxes, you can barely fit it onto the meter at the moment. And allegedly, all of this is going to make the subway better. And I don't know if you've been reading the papers here. Our subways are a disaster. We just had a homeless woman burned to death. People are being pushed in front of the subway. People are being robbed. That has no effect. And we have fare beaters here. The subway system is losing over $700 million a year with people not paying the fare on the subway or the buses. And they claim that is what's going to be the intake of people coming into Manhattan in cars. So what they're doing is offsetting their fare beaters. Instead of arresting them or stopping them from jumping the turnstiles here, they're going to say, well, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're just going to pass it on to the people, the working class that are coming in from Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx.
New York cabbie John McDonough, he is not a fan, but congestion charging has arrived in New York City. That's it from this edition of Newshour. From me, Tim Franks, and the rest of the team here in London, thanks for your company.